Hey guys, welcome back to another recording. Well, sorry, I've not been very active lately. That's because a series of stuff has happened, and believe it or not, it snowed in England, so I've actually spent time outside, and then I've been going to bed earlier. I've got exams going every week, not proper exams, they're like weekly exams, they're testing like the waters. It's all because of you know what, running around ruining a lot of stuff, including tests that I have. So it's left me in predicaments where I have to focus on work, which is exactly what I'm not doing right now to make a YouTube video. But we'll go with it. So for the sake of me not doing that much work, guys, like and subscribe. I'm trying a lot. uh, Look, just an example of how tired I am. The top left image is not centered correctly. Sorry, top left image, yeah. It's not correctly in the corner. Now you've seen that, you're not going to be able to unsee it. If you look at the right image, it's the same one. My production quality is through the roof. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. And in fact, I think you should subscribe just because of that. So like and subscribe. Anyway, jumping into this video. So this one's going to be different because I want to jig it up a bit. Also, I just feel like I should talk about any part 2s. I will get around to doing them. I'm just too lazy to figure out what I've said and listen to what I've said and do a part 2, but I will do a part 2 as soon as possible. And I really am sorry. I've just not had time recently. Anyway, let's jump into what if Deku was immortal. So we're gonna start it off with Deku as a little kid. They've one day they're just like, Deku, is he gonna get a quirk? So they go to get him tested because Deku really wants a quirk to become hero. They realise he's slightly stronger and slightly more intelligent than a normal kid would be, because quirk. So they go to test to see whether this is a quirk. Of course, they realise that the quirk does have something to do with his brains and intelligence, but they have to do some more tests. So they're going to test his quirk, and then that's when they find out it is what they're going to call super immortality, or we'll go just immortality. But what the actual thing is that his cells, whenever they detect damage, they heal at an increased growth. But there is a drawback that when he hits the age of 18 or 21, they don't know yet, his cells are just going to freeze. This is going to mean that he doesn't age, but his cells still work how they used to. So if he got like his arm cut off, it would grow back due to increased brain and body functions that now know like how to rebuild a finger, because usually that wouldn't happen. So he can grow back wounds, and basically he is immortal, and he can grow back basically instantly. But when he hits 18, between 18, 21 or 25, they don't know yet, he's gonna freeze and he won't age at all. As for his brain surviving and his muscles, they've actually been increased massively in strength and durability. But another benefit is that due to this new cellular regrowth thing, when he tears his muscles, they will repair straight away, which means he can build muscles like 30 times easier. And another thing they can do is that his body will recognize that he's trying to beef up due to its smart intellect, due to the bigger, basically more dense brain. So his muscles will dense up and become stronger. So this means that he will become more stronger without actually being all buff and all that. So anyway, this cuts on to the Doctor then being curious about this quirk due to its immense strength, with him basically giving immortality, and with the Doctor working for One for All for one, all for one, one for all. No, it's all for one. Sorry, with the Doctor working for all for one. He actually wants to take his quirk, and they try and do that, but when all for one basically what the Doctor does is he takes him to the corner room when he's getting tested, tells Inku that the testing's going to take a little longer and that we might have to put him asleep to get him tested. So, Inku Midoriya, of course, agrees to him being put asleep, thinking that the doctors will know what they're doing. Of course, they would normally, but this time they put him asleep, so All for One can basically creep up on him and take his quirk. So that's what he does. All for One walks into the room. He grabs a hold of Deku's head, clenching it with his fist, as you could see black lightning, figuratively, black and purple lightning, figuratively spiral coil down his arm, and you can tell he's activated his quirk. That is when he realizes that his hand is actually rejected by it. The reason why is due to Deku's increased brain cognitions and muscle and all that. He can actually fight back One for All's quirk because it's basically increased a vulnerability that was found in the body that made All for One be able to take his quirk due to some in his mind, due to now increased mind strength. He can basically repel back All for One's quirk, and that's because All for One's quirk relies on the weaknesses of the human body, and Deku is evolved enough to repel back the quirk. A bit like when Nine tried to take Deku's quirk, and One for All for One kind of pushed him away. Wait, One for All, the quirk kind of pushed Nine away from taking Deku's, or taking One for All. Here, Deku's brain is doing the same and basically fighting against the effects. One for All All for One annoyed by this, doesn't want to start a Rekus yet, because he's not strong enough to fight All Might. So what he actually does is he doesn't do anything and lets Deku be free for another 5 years. So Deku, on the other front, he isn't being bullied, not at all. No one's bullying him, because he is a strong quirk. But people are kind of scared of him due to his immense strength, even though he has a soft nature. They're kind of scared of him because they see him as a low-key, like, kind of god, as other people see him as a weakling due to him not having a really physical strength, and he actually ends up having no friends due to the strong people thinking he's weak and the weak people thinking he's a god. It's kind of weird because the people that rely on their brains the most are kind of fascinated by how his body works as well. So he's kind of a misfit in all sections, which leaves him to yet again be friendless because Bakugo doesn't accept him, thinking he's weak and not using his, and a quirk like his could go so far, but it's in a fool like him he will never be able to push it that far. So anyway, 5 years later, this is 5 years before UA, so he was 5 when he got his quirk check, now he's 10, and he's 15 when he goes to UA, or he's 14. He's 5 years before UA. This is when Deku is yet again, he's not walking home by himself, but he's basically asleep in his house when a black portal surrounds him, a black or purple portal surrounds him, and his bed falls through, and he falls through his bed into what seems like a concrete floor. This is then when All for One says hi to him again, and Deku realizes where he is. He is in the villain's base. Trying to fight back, he uses his increased strength to punch at All for One. This is when All for One basically picks him up and flings him into the corner, this cracks the concrete and knocks out Deku, where he's only knocked out for a minute after healing up due to his immortality and increased health regen. I also should mention that brain injuries take the longest to reheal, and his rehealing depends on his age, and it also depends on his it depends on how like inspired to protect somebody he is. Anyway, so that is when he's then keep on being approached by One for All, and he's like, this is when he basically tells him your plan, and Deku's like, what are you gonna do to me? And All for One's like, well, we're gonna abuse you, test on you, take your blood, and then we're gonna use it to create bullets. And then Deku's like, why? Well, imagine if we could shoot somebody for immortality. But why the bullets? Well, they'll have to suffer. So basically, what he's doing, he's creating like an injection to basically make them immortal, but he's doing it in bullets because he wants them to suffer beforehand. So basically, he's just being as evil as possible. That is when rumbling can be heard, and you can kind of feel the wind pressure change. That's because All Might has jumped towards Deku, and he is about to smash through the building. This is then when we cut back to Inku Midoriya panicking because he heard Midoriya scream as he then disappeared. So, with her son disappeared, she goes to the cops immediately, and due to the portal, they actually link it back to One for All. Because of the connections with Deku having quite a powerful quirk, they've always had tabs on him. With this All for One being the villain, the guy in the police force, of course, straight away goes to All Might, wanting him to stop it. Not knowing where the sun is, that's when they use satellites to see if there's a disturbance in energy, realizing that when Deku has to use his immortality quirk, he has a unique energy signature that the doctors actually have credit of. They have like research on it due to Deku's quirk being researched more than others due to the power of it. So, with a few permissions from Inku, they decided to use this energy signature to find Deku. Once they found Deku, they sent All Might to them straight away, and this is cutting back to present tense, where All Might then slams through the building saying, "I am here." Smiling and clapping, One for All, All for One uninjured, comes up, and they start to fight it out. All Might, not being able to go at full strength to protect the kid, realizes that he's going to have to get the kid out there or he's going to get himself killed. This is because All Might ignorantly has not realized that the kid is immortal yet. And this is because it's actually classified information, but they allowed the doctors to know, since Inko told the policeman and the policeman told the doctors, because Inko knew the doctors were doing extra research, and that was just to see whether the quirk was safe, like see what energy signatures it'll give off and whether it'll take life force from others. So basically, All Might didn't know whether the kid was immortal or not. All he knew was he was out there to defeat One for All for One, but he had to get the kid out of the way. So All for One, knowing that he couldn't destroy his ever so loved merchandise, saw that All Might was trying to protect the kid, even though the kid was immortal. Then it clicked in his head, realizing that All Might didn't know the kid was immortal. So what All for One decided to do was first attack All Might, getting him in, like, basically deflecting attack. Then he laughed, and All Might went in to punch One for All, which he got a clean hit off onto his face. But that's when One For All, from the ground, bleeding and with his face really disfigured, shoots one of those red metal things that go into force quirk activation but used to harm people, and shoots it at Deku. That's when All For One, not wanting anybody else to be hurt, actually jumps in front of the red blade. That's when multiple more hit All Might in the back and then flinch out. All For One then runs away after walking up to All Might and basically going, "You've lost," stumbling as hell, and punches through his stomach. All Might is now on the brink of death. There is no coming back for him. All For One faints as Portal Dude, as he's known as, portals himself and All For One away. All Might's then there looking at the kid, and that's when he realizes he's gonna die. Realizing that there's no one else he can give it to, he asks Deku to do him a favor, and that was become his disciple. Deku, not wanting to say no, All Might says become his disciple or find somebody worthy. Deku, wanting to become a hero, says, "Yes, I'll become your disciple." On his last breath, All Might gives him a piece. All Might, what he does, he gives him a piece of hair and says to eat this quick. Deku, being a gullible kid, actually eats it, and that's when One For All is transferred immediately to Deku. The reason I've done this immediately is because One For All realizes Deku is a good host, and also realizes that their host is dying, so they need to pass it along quicker than they usually would. So All Might dies, drop dead on the floor. Deku, full of tears due to his symbol of peace and idol dying in front of him, makes him tear up. That's when he wipes off his tears and yells for help and basically goes, "All Might," or "Help, All Might, no," and tears keep on filling his eyes. There is a pool of blood and water. It cuts. That is where I'm going to end this video. I hope you enjoyed the new twist on things. I just thought I would make things a little bit more darker, because why not? You know, there's no reason not to. Yeah, again, I want to apologise for the lack of part 2s, the neglect to the channel. It's been so bad. Hopefully I can get more videos out. And of course, hopefully they'll be longer. Tomorrow is Friday, and then there's half term, and hopefully I'll have enough time to pump out video after video after video after video, because I am really excited. Like, I know I probably should have prepared this before video, but I'm at like whatever subscribers, and it's amazing. It really is fantastic. I'm at 477 subscribers, so if I could hit 500 subscribers, now this is very angsty since I've neglected this channel for a bit, but if I could hit 500 by the end of this week, I will be over the moon. And I understand if you can't, but anyway, I just want to thank everybody for watching. You're an amazing audience. Goodbye.